Assalamualaikum. I'm going to show you how to do the shortcut way on constructing the sine table. Okay, so before this, what we learned in class is we did on the test number, but there is a shortcut way that you can do. So for example, you have a construct sine table for the following inequalities below. So these are given inequalities. So you have x plus 1 over by x minus by 2 greater and equivalent to 0. Basically, this one has been factorized completely on the numerator and also the denominator. So first step is that you need to find your roots. So roots for all the factors. So you have two factors, x plus 1 and x minus 2. So the roots are x plus by 1, you equate to 0, then you're going to get x equivalent to negative 1. Another one would be x minus by 2 equivalent to 0. So x equivalent to 2. And then you write your interval as such. Now you have to imagine that this is going to be your real number line. Your smaller number would be starting with negative 1 and this one too. So if real number line is start with a negative infinity up to infinity. So your interval would be negative infinity until negative 1. And then this one negative 1 until 2. 2 until infinity. Now some of you asked me how to put the bracket. So let's see this one, how do we put the bracket. So first, let's look at the sign that given to you. So this one is greater and equivalent. So whenever you have the equivalent sign, basically it's going to be close bracket. But remember that you have a rational function over here. Rational function, your denominator cannot be equal to 0. Such that if you have x minus 2 cannot be equivalent to 0. So x cannot be equivalent to 2. So this one you need to do open bracket. Which is open bracket, you need to put it as semicircle bracket. So negative infinity is open bracket. Negative 1 is going to be closed because it's at the numerator. So no problem to have the equivalent. And then this one is closed. This 2 because at denominator, so you're going to be open. And this open. And this is open also. Okay. Now let's look at how we construct using the sine table by the shortcut way. Now let's look at one by one. Now let's look at the first factor. So if we have a factor of x plus 1, you must know what is the root. So the root here is negative 1. So what I would do is that I bring down to the factor, which is 2x minus by 1, and to the right of it. So what sign would it be? So how do I look is that if your x is plus, which is positive, then to your right, then it's all going to be positive, positive. And behind it will be the negative lah. Alright? Okay, now I'll show you another one, which is the x minus 2. So x minus 2, your roots is 2. So bring it down to your right. Okay, you want to know your sign is positive or negative? Look at your x. Your x here is positive, so this should be positive. And the rest behind it will be negative. Okay? Now next is that you find the resulting sign, where resulting sign is you multiply these two, negative and negative. So negative multiplied by a negative number would give you a positive number. Okay, and then the column of the second one would be positive multiplied by a negative number, which is going to give you a negative number. Okay, and then the last column, positive multiplied a positive number, will give you a positive number. Okay, so you are done with your sine table. So basically, this is your sine table, you are done. Now, how do you find your answer? Again, you have to look at your sign or the given inequalities. So over here, you are given greater and equivalent. So you want it to be positive sign. So positive sign, there are two parts of answer. One is negative infinity until 1. Another one will be 2 until infinity. How do you combine the two answers? Is that you rewrite negative infinity until negative 1, close, open. Then to combine the second one, you have to put union. Okay, union with the 2 until infinity. And then you are done. Are you okay?